2:15 p.m. and I am finally doing the video I've been trying to do since 9:30, or I'm going to try to do the video I've been trying to do since 9:30 this morning. So here we go. We have, this is just an attempt to make a do-it-yourself FRFR using the Celestion F12 X200 speaker, which is a two-way full-range speaker from Celestion. So you can just stick this thing in a combo amp, and if the combo amp is flat enough, you should have an FRFR, just period, like that. The cabinet could be made better. Celestion actually specs the cabinet that you could be using, but it works pretty good just throwing it in a Fender Mustang, which I did. And but one thing that they have here is this little pedal amp. This is like supposed to be 100 watts at 8 ohms. I think more at 4 ohms. Tiny little thing, doesn't weigh anything. I'm thinking if you had a dead guitar amp, just stick this on there, Velcro it to the top or something, and put that speaker in, and you got an FRFR. Awesome, right? Unfortunately, this thing is 230 volts, and I'm in the USA where it's 120 volts. I called the company. They have no intention of making 120 volt, which is kind of crazy, but let's just see what we can do. Right, it's Amazon. Ooh. Now, problem is, this thing doesn't weigh anything. Like, this would make your guitar amp lighter by taking the guts out of a guitar amp and just sticking this in. But in order to convert the voltage, I'm going to need a voltage converter. And I don't know if this thing's really going to work. I'm a little scared that we're going to catch fire here. So let's see what we got here today. I had to order a couple things. I should be getting some pots to fix the Fender Mustang amp, which is really what I got this thing in. It's working pretty well. I have no idea. What is this? 48. This says it's a pot. Let's see. It might be smaller than I thought. Fender wasn't able to tell me which potentiometers they used in that Mustang 3 V2. And so I had to just guess. And I might just get some regular kind of pots to do it with. Yeah, so here is a pair of stereo ganged potentiometers. I'm not sure that this will fit under the chassis on that thing. We'll look at that amp later if I have time. I'm kind of getting a little bit struck for time. Oh, my Harry's razors, thank you. I don't really care for Dollar Shave Club or Harry's. Not really thrilled with either one. But now the thing is, oh, geez, this is heavy. So this should be, and notice it's made by Pyle. This is the same guys that made those $100 drum mics that I like. And I just don't know anything about buying a voltage converter. I saw a couple that were too weak. They only did 50 watts. I don't think that would be good for this. So he said to get something that's 10 times the, or 5 times the wattage. And let's see what we got here. The trouble is, this thing weighs as much as a guitar amp. It is really heavy. It's like, it says 8 pounds on the packaging. I'm struggling to think this is only 8 pounds. Maybe because it's so small, it's feeling heavier than it is. But I'm not, oh man. See, this kind of destroys the whole point of making this nice light amplifier. So that what I'd really do, if I'm going to do this again, I would just buy a TC Electronic, one of those bass amps. They're like, this thing's $70, okay, but it costs $30 to get to US, so this is $100. For $200, TC Electronics has a 250 watt bass amp that should be flat enough, and I would just use that instead. It's tiny, it weighs like this, maybe a little bit more than this. This is overkill. This is something I wanted to learn, but probably a bad idea. Next time I won't do it this way. So somewhere, I gotta find it, is the proper power cable for this. Clean this stuff up here, sorry. Ooh. Oh, here we go. So here That's what this thing looks like. No ground. That's kind of terrifying. And so I guess it goes into this European power thing. I don't know how this works. Just go like that, or no? All right, one of you Euro guys, let me know, how does this work? I don't see it. See it plug in here, but this says output 110 volts. This needs to output 130 volts. Huh. All right, I'm confused. So what is this thing? Oh, well, that's not. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Let's see. These instructions will help. Okay, insert the voltage tap plug. Okay, to convert 100 volts to 220 volts. Make sure the appliance plugs in uses less than the transformer's rating. Insert the voltage tap plug located in the rear transformer into the pair of holes marked 110. That's in there. Plug the transformer's power cord into a source of 100 volts. I'll do that later. 220 volts will be available at the front panel marked 220 volts when the power switch is turned on. Well, what's this thing? Voltage converter transformer EU power adapter. 2 spare fuses. You know, I was reading in Amazon how these things, it all said that it came with 2 spare fuses and nobody had a spare fuse. I'm not seeing a spare fuse either. Ooh. What just happened? So, and then a lot of people were saying the fuse was dead out of the box. So this is a little bit concerning to me. I might have just done a really bad experiment, really. I don't even know where I would get fuses anymore. And no, it doesn't appear to have come with any spare fuses. And that's exactly what I read on Amazon too. So I don't know what this thing is, but I'm hoping that this is what turns the... Yeah, this thing's so heavy. Like this was a bad move. This thing actually fits in the 110, but I don't want it in the 110. I need to get it into the 220. So I think it's meant, this thing's meant to go in there or something. I don't know. These instructions suck. Attach round pin adapter to the transformer's power cord and connect the... Oh, so this is for converting the other way. So how the hell is this supposed to fit in the... It's weird. It fits in the 110 thing. That's not how that's what you're supposed to do with this. Alright, well, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this, man. I don't understand at all. Oh, that does plug in. Okay. So just real quick, C's. I'm going to take this. I got a Celestion over here. Of the exceedingly bad ideas I've had in my life, this is up there. Just, I'm going to warm up my soldering iron here. And so I've got this little, got this that I was using the other, if you guys remember, I was using this to test the flatness of that Fender Mustang V3. And it was pretty flat. So this will be my speaker cord to test with, and I'm just gonna solder this into the speaker terminals. This one for some reason had bad terminals, but that's okay. So this is gonna go to the output. The input is gonna come from my Helix. Get some cables. Yeah, I have so much to clean up after last night. Oh, speaking of which, maybe you guys can help. We had some stripped drum parts, and there's nothing for sale. Like, really, there is jack diddly for sale, man. I cannot get drum parts right now. Like, it's like the tom holders and things like that. There's just nothing. There's nothing for sale. It's absolutely bonkers. So just plug it in, turn it on my Helix. Sorry. This way we'll have a signal source. Now tell me you're rebuilding a preset again. I need to talk to line 6. They haven't got back to me on one of these errors. Probably couldn't repro it, maybe. Okay. Okay, Helix is up. Let's see if the soldering iron is sufficiently warm yet. Let me get rid of this mouse. Ooh. Yeah, it's an Alnico, Celestion Alnico G12 Gold. I don't know much about that speaker. Okay. Let's see if we're hot yet. Check. All right. I don't even want to think about plugging this thing in until there's a load on it, you know? A lot paranoid about that. I really don't know about this voltage transformer thing. I put on the forums for any advice on a much lighter one, because this just completely wrecks the whole point of this. I think this amp is actually still going to be lighter than your typical PA monitor speaker that people use as FRFRs, but it could be so much lighter without this thing. This thing adds like 8 pounds at least. It says 8 pounds. It feels like maybe it's more. Okay, I'm gonna make damn sure this thing's not plugged in. If you were around yesterday, you saw that tried to test to see if I could turn this into 110 volts. If I could, this would be the deal of the century, man. 70 or even $100 to get clean power like this. If you really want an insane 4x12, you just plug one of these into each speaker and just wire it in there. Holy crap, that'd be unreal. Okay. So let's see what kind of fire this is gonna start. I wonder if I should put some rubber shoes on. A little paranoid. Watch this shorts out everything. All right, I'm turning it on. Here we go. Woo! It's got a little 5-volt out, which is kind of handy. You could plug your phone in while you're on your with your amp there. I thought I was going to Velcro this to the amp. No way is that happening. I'd have to. I don't know how I'm going to be securing this actually. So this may be a failed experiment on that end, but let's see if this even turns on. Oh my God, I'm scared to flip this switch. Woo! Here we go. Here's a speaker not in the cabinet. Oh, yeah, crap. I forgot to plug the speaker in. See? Could have blown some stuff up. Good job, idiot. All right. All right. Yeah, these pedal amps are a little bit sketch, man. I mean, like, this is you're trusting your 100 watts out of this thing. Eee. Speaker just pop right off. All right, so let me grab a guitar. Turn this back on. Hopefully it didn't blow up. I'm surprised. I'm actually very surprised the protection circuit didn't go on, honestly. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start turning up the volume of my Helix. Oh, I hear sound. So have you ever heard one of these things without a speaker cabinet? That's what it sounds like. Wow, okay. I can make you one observation right now. Whatever frequency this mid knob's at, this is exactly the frequency that when you start getting lost in the mix, you just turn it up. This is actually kind of cool, man. I'm surprised. Okay, I still think that it'd be more convenient to leave that FRFR in the Fender Mustang that I got, even though the volume knob is broken. But that's one of the things I wanted to fix today. But I'm gonna turn this off. If I can find something lighter than this here, let's look and see if anybody answered my forum post actually. Okay, this is all off now. I'm very pleasantly surprised, I gotta say. But let me just check. Let me just check. Okay. So I was asking on the forums over at the gear page if so I'm gonna leave my soldering iron on for now, but remind me to turn that sucker off. That's a little scary. At the gear page, I was asking if there's a smaller thing to use than this, but I mean this is actually working pretty well. Okay. Man, because if this was any smaller, I'm telling you, but you know, I don't know that this is actually gonna be loud enough. This little amp could be. Let me just check. Where was it? It was at the here. Buy and sell. No. Okay, you're right here. Running Euro stuff on. Oh yeah, so nobody's answered me yet. Okay, well that's okay. I'll put this off to the side for now. Yeah, this is a real bummer. If this thing had been, if that thing was just straight 120 volts, that'd be perfect. So this is what I'm going to use to fix that other amp. And I'm wondering, do I actually even bother doing this experiment? I think I should. So we'll just try it and see what happens. So here is the guts. Now I'm worried that the weight of this amp is going to be less. I kid you not. Is going to be less than this transformer. This transformer is heavy as hell. And so hopefully the guts come out of this thing and it's a little bit lighter, but I'm not convinced it's going to be. We'll find out. Not really sure how this comes apart, but we'll start pulling screws out and see what happens. So pull the top off. If this thing's heavier than the transformer, I will be happily surprised and eat my words. And I'll customize the hell out of it. All right, well that didn't pull it. Oh, I feel something loose. We'll take the handle off. Maybe that's part of it. Now, somewhere I've got a bunch of combo amps stashed that might be perfect. The one I was looking at is the Line 6 Flexstone. There was a stereo version of it. Putting 2 of those in there. It's only 75 watts a side, but 75 watts should still be pretty damn loud. So this guy's got an open back of sorts. I can close that up pretty easy. I wonder if I should pull... These screws aren't too bad to put back. Oh, the story behind these amps is pretty cool. We actually met. This was our first time at the NAMM show with Reaper, and we got to meet the guys who were in charge of this. And there was us, Fred Poole, Scott Meyer. We met Harley Peavy himself. That was pretty cool. I know a lot of people don't like Peavy, but they do a lot of smart things. Maybe they do a lot of dumb things. I remember there's like some kind of undercover boss or something where they really looked bad, but I don't know. It's not any of the guys that I knew. I gotta say, I'm pretty thrilled with that amp lamp. Okay, so that's the back of this guy. Well, this chassis is actually pretty big, man. Maybe I should go get some female terminals. Or I'll just steal these ones, maybe. Okay, so what else is holding this sucker together? There's like a vanity plate in the front. I wouldn't think that's part of this. It could be, though. Jeez. Let me pull this and just see. It might be helpful watching that video that Jim Lill made recently where he's talking about what actually makes a difference in speakers, speaker cabinets for guitars. It's pretty interesting. So for now, I'm going to leave this speaker in here. It's 8 ohms, 60 watts. It'll be fine to test with. I know. I'll turn off the cabinet emulator on the Helix. Maybe that'll. Oh yes, vanity plate's part of the innards and guts. Okay, this is sad. This whole chassis. Look how tiny that is. That's the whole power for this thing. That's nuts. This is tiny, and I tell you what, it weighs. Oh, God, it weighs less than the transformer, man. No. All right. No. So now I got this big old gaping gap in the front. I guess I could, like, bolt. No. Because I got to keep this vent clear for this thing. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. This transformer is really going to be a problem. And I don't really know what to do about it. I suppose I could stick it to the bottom. That'll ruin the USB thingamabobber. Yeah, this sucks. It's just tall enough that it's completely out in the way. Let's see if there's some way I could wedge a piece of wood. Actually, not exactly the right size. So if I could wedge a piece of wood in the middle, and hopefully it wouldn't heat up too much in there, I could maybe hot glue this thing in. I don't think hot glue is going to be strong enough to hold it. I think if I can clear the vents, I can put a piece of wood in there and kind of wedge it there. You'll be able to get to the power switch in the front, and that's probably all you really need. I'm not sure how it's going to handle the little amp. Maybe I could drop it inside the speaker cabinet when it's ready. But for now, let's just wire the sucker up. Oh God, it's still heavy. Wow. I'm telling you, man, this is not saving you any weight. This is not at all convenient. And if I just leave this floating around in here, that would be a problem. Oh God, this is heavy. I should weigh this compared to the Mustang. I have a feeling that this is going to be worse. I might just fix that Mustang up instead. Let me see if I can't find a way to stick this sucker together. And how would I do? I kind of almost want to stick this amp in the front, but then it'll probably get broken that way. Yeah, you know what? It's probably going to be best to store this in the back of the amp and then Velcro it to the top. As crappy as that is. At least for now, this is just an experiment. But I'll tell you what, I just put that TC electronic bass amp in here, hot glue it to the top, be done with it. Maybe cover up the rest of this, because now this is an open back and a closed back cabinet. It's a lot of space in here. Man, this is just the slightest bit too tall to just stick right through there, which would have been nice. But I'll do it this way. Let me see if I can't come up with some kind of bracing system. I do have a bunch of braces and brackets around here that I could use for this. Oh, geez, it's heavy. Ridiculous. Okay. So if I can space it out like this, it's actually not too bad. See what I can use. I could go to the hardware store and get some stuff, but you know, I don't really have a way to cut wood to the right size. I do have some shims though, and that might be the ticket. Or I did have some shims. Got plenty of drumsticks. I really could just use some angle brackets and stick this sucker together. That might be the way to go, really. Don't really want to go to the hardware store right now if I don't have to. Already far enough behind. So I'm just looking through my stuff to see if I got any brackets or something I can use handy. Don't see anything. I'm probably going to go to the hardware store, I guess, and get the right thing here. So let me just measure the space that I need. Need like 3/4 of an inch. Some kind of bracket to hold this thing in. I could drill into this chassis, I think. Some kind of strap. So 3/4 an inch by 3/4 by 3.5. 3/4 by 3.5. Okay, tell you what, I'm gonna go to the hardware store. I'm gonna try this and then I'll be back.